Hey everybody, this is Sean Riley with Riley Real Estate and MassHomesale.com with this week's Q&A Saturday video. So you might notice that our backdrop is a little bit different, and that's because I'm on the road right now. We're visiting some family after checking out some rental properties we have in another state. So that led me to think that this would be a good week to answer a question I get a lot from investors of, should I invest out of state? So there's no right or wrong answer, no particularly easy answer for that question. What I can say is there are advantages and disadvantages. So for me, one of the reasons that we looked into getting stuff out of state was because prices are very, very expensive where we are in eastern Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire, where we look for most of our properties locally. For example, where we have a lot of these rental properties, the houses, even in a lower-end town near us, would cost 10 times as much. So obviously that's way less expensive. So that's one of the big advantages for somebody coming from an expensive market is in a lot of parts of the country, especially in the South and the Midwest, prices are much, much cheaper than you're going to find, say, like on the Northeast or the West Coast and places like that. And another reason that it works is because rents are less, but they're not as much less. So, for example, a $25,000 house in the area that I'm looking at might rent for between $500 and $600, and the same house near me might rent for $2,000, but it might cost $600,000. So even though the rents are higher, they don't scale nearly as fast as the prices do. So you can make more money on a smaller investment oftentimes, if you're lucky and everything gets taken into account. So some of the disadvantages are if you're in a place where you can buy a house that people can live in nicely without being a complete slumlord, or even, to be honest, even if you are a complete slumlord, for $25,000, there's a reason why you can buy houses like that, and you can't buy them like that near where I am. Just not as many people want to live there. There's not as many jobs, so that's a big disadvantage. You have less tenants and not as necessarily high a quality. Now there's different areas, and these aren't the only reasons. Obviously, some people might just want to invest in a different area just because they think it's an area that has a good chance for appreciation or something like that. So I'm specifically talking if you are looking for a lower priced area where you can get cash flow from your rentals easier than you can in a more expensive area. And they don't even have, I'm also talking about very, very cheap areas. Like, those aren't all over the place. But you can find places where, again, something that might be $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 in Massachusetts might be, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, $110,000, $120,000 in a lot of like nicer areas in the Midwest or the South or something like that. So anyway, my recommendation would be, if you are thinking about doing it, do a lot of research. Do a lot of research on what's like to landlord in general, what the rules are in the states that you're looking at, what the demographics are in the area you're looking at. Is it going to be a growth area? Is it stable? Is it declining? And talk to people who are already doing stuff there to kind of find out what it's like, what the tenant base is. Is it pretty solid or is it tough? There's a lot of factors that go into it. I also would say if you do not have local experience landlording, that it's a lot tougher. If this was my first experience and I didn't work with a lot of rentals up in our area, it would have been much, much tougher to do. Excuse me. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. There's a lot of pluses. There's a lot of minuses. It's not going to be right for everybody. Some people will be great for. Other people it's going to be terrible for. Most people will probably be somewhere in between. Like I said, my only big recommendation is to learn a lot about landlording in general and about the area that you're looking at. That's universal no matter what type of investing you're looking to do and no matter what area you're looking to do and whatever area you're coming from. And just secondary to that is, I think it will be not impossible, but more difficult if it's your first experience. So other than that, like I said, a little bit of a vague answer. There's no right or wrong answer, but I hope this information is useful. As always, if you have any questions about this topic and want me to expand on anything, just leave a comment below. And if you have questions you would like to see answered in a future video, you can always post it on our Facebook page, our Twitter account, or send an email to info@masshomesale.com. And until next week, I hope you guys are doing great, and I will see you then. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.